imaginary.
Oh,
Hello.
are you ready?
To be within
The Wyrd.
Hello.
Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Luna.
Hello. We're here. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're back with episode 3.
Episode 3 of season 2.
Yeah.
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 We have a very good one for you today. All wintry and shit.
It doesn't feel like winter here.
I know.
It really doesn't.
It must be very shocking for you.
Yeah. Like it's rained the past 3 days, I think, at this point. And I knew it rained, I knew it, and the rain doesn't bother me. Let me be clear. I actually like it most of the time. Sure. On day 3, I'm like, could we have a little sun, please?
There was a little bit of sun earlier.
There was,
yeah,
for 10 minutes. But for someone, the different, the polar opposites between Ontario and BC, I know in the last few years Ontario's been a little bit of a wild card because of climate change, and sometimes it's quite warm in the winter and it's not supposed to be, but I'm used to there being lots of snow at the very least minus 30 degree weather by now.
Yeah.
And it into January, February, sometimes March.
And we're still in the pluses here.
I have not worn my winter jacket once yet. And that's not normal for me. Normally you're, in Ontario, sometimes if you're just stepping out to put the garbage out or whatever, you're bundling up.
Yeah.
Right. And for here, I think my raincoat and my rain boots are getting far more use than my winter stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very weird. It's a lot of change.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's winter, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
We're doing wintry things, so
yeah. There was a person that, okay, first of all, do you remember when the TikTok sound the weather outside is warm?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So that kind of ties into my delight as well as my fright, because remember I came over a couple days ago and I was like, so I realized where Frightfully Delightful may have come from.
Yeah.
That old Frank Sinatra song. Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
Yeah.
The fire is so delightful. So,
and you had also made mention that because we started this in January, so it's that was fresh in your brain.
Yeah. And it works. Don't get me wrong. We will never change our name.
No, I love it.
Frightfully Delightful is fucking adorable and fun, and it encompasses a myriad of different frights and delights.
Yeah.
So it makes the most sense. But for that's been going through my head ever since we were talking about the climate and the difference between Ontario. So the last hour, the weather outside is warm. And,
it's true.
It is.
That's what it's like here.
Yeah. Okay, so I did my fright and delight. I just slid it right in there so I could partake in this surprise, this secret, this thing that you told my kid about. Not me.
2 of your kids, technically. Okay, so
do I have to look away?
Let me get not yet.
Okay.
I don't have any frights and delights today, but I do have a fun surprise. But you need to close your eyes so I can prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so okay.
For anybody that's listening, I do have my eyes closed.
So Amanda's covering her eyes. If you're listening to this podcast, you are missing out because this is pure.
There's a bag rustling.
This is pure visual entertainment.
Oh no!
And I highly recommend that you go to our YouTube channel and just watch it. But
oh my god, what is it?
Okay. I have to get ready. I have to.
What do you mean?
I have to
get ready.
Morph into my final form.
Oh my god, are you a cryptid?
Maybe.
You're a cryptid. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay,
oh my god!
so.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is so unhinged. When I tell you I'm ready, I need you to look at the screen.
The screen, okay.
And then look at me after the thing is done, okay? You're gonna see me anyways.
Well, no,
doesn't matter.
I will. I know how to do this. I can tilt this way, and then I can go like that, so I don't actually have to see you.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm just gonna hang out over you
here,
ready?
And then I'm gonna count 1,
Yep.
2, 3.
Minute? Stop it.
Look at me.
Oh my god, you're the cutest little Mothman ever.
A Mothman. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
You're tuning in to the Mothman Minute. I'm your host, Luna Corbiday, bringing you paranormal news juicier than Mothman's behind. Let's get into it.
You're a fucking genius. This is so fun.
UFOs, UAPs, lights in the sky. Everyone wants to know what is out there, but it's a rare occurrence to get something caught on video. Back in May of this year, a local BC man managed to capture a short video of strange lights in the sky. Give me 1 second. Gizmo, roll the clip.
Holy, look
What
at that.
is that?
Oh my goodness, see that? Oh, and now they're bunching all together. They were in a line and now they're all... See the...
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, there's another bunch up there.
Is there?
Yep. See how they all go
Wow.
together? Look at...
That
no,
is
they're
so
not.
strange.
They all go together. Roland, they're lit up and birds don't fly at this time of night. Look at that.
Good spotting, kid.
Okay.
That's cool.
The clip, taken by Bobby Vandenhoorn in so-called Kelowna, BC, was originally shared to the Coast Reporter and Castanet News back in May 2024.
Cool.
Is this video evidence of UFOs in our skies? Or perhaps it's something completely benign, like a plane?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pass the question off to you, Amanda. What are your thoughts?
So I don't think that it's a plane.
No.
Because there's multiple of them. I would have liked to see different like angles.
Yeah.
And like maybe like a wide pan to zoom out just to see like what the orientation was and like how like where were they? Were they in a residential area? Were they out in the Kelowna's like a little bit like a desert, so
really
a little bit. It's in the mountains, but there is like in the summer it's a lot of like kind of arid climate.
Okay.
So that would have been in May, so spring. So yeah, and also what like where I would like to rule out a couple things like weather, obviously. How close they were to an industrial park or that kind of like what kind of light pollution there would have been.
Yeah.
So where were they?
Yeah.
Is something that I'd really like to see. But I think it's an interesting video altogether.
Yeah.
However, the first time that it bunched up, it did look like it did look like genitals. Like it looked like balls, and
oh my god.
it did. I'm so sorry, but then it looked like they multiplied, and then created kind of like a half smile, like they were in like a semi-disc, like a semicircle.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
It was weird.
It's interesting too that this is something that happened in May, and we're seeing a lot of the drones and stuff happening now in like New Jersey and like across the US.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for location, it does say in the original article on Coast Reporter, it says that it happened a few blocks from Orchard Park Mall. Okay. I don't know the area, so that means nothing to me.
A few blocks. I would think it would be in like a residential area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or it would either be residential or in another like spot of businesses or something.
Yeah. It's interesting. And like you said, with like what kind of light pollution, like for example here, because I'm really close to the small airport at night, they have lights going, and you can see them depending on like where you are in the house, you can kind of see them flashing in the window a little bit sometimes. So like, is there anything like that nearby, or like industrial, like you said, or what have you?
I would like to see reporting like this continue. You know what I mean? Like, especially with phenomena like this, I would like to see more reporters being proactive in how they are following up with information.
Yeah. Like, if in this situation with this person, Bobby, did anything weird happen to them in from then till now? Did they have any more experiences like this? Like that kind of follow up?
How was your day beforehand?
Yeah.
When did you notice it? Was it you that noticed it, or was it somebody who drew your attention to it? Mm-hmm. Do you believe in this kind of phenomena? What kind of, do you believe in the paranormal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. That kind of like digging deeper into it, rather than just be like, "Ooh, cool! Look, a weird video of lights in the sky."
I'm a sucker for investigative reporting.
Yeah,
like, I really, really am.
Yeah.
I really like to. It probably goes back to my wanting to understand things.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I just wanna know like the whole story.
Yeah.
Because this is such a cool thing to happen.
Yeah.
But it feels like that, like, it's like just, I want to talk to Bobby.
Yeah.
So Bobby, if you're listening.
Bobby, if you're listening, reach out.
Come on to the Mothman Minute.
Come on to the Mothman Minute. You can't see things very good. Oh my god. Joe helped me create these. My little Mothman costume. I have extra ones. I should make you one too. So from now on, when we do the Mothman Minute, we can both be little moth peoples.
Sure.
But just to end it, that's all for tonight on the Mothman Minute. Keep it weird out there. Oh, you have no idea how hard it was.
Okay,
were you secret?
Is this like, were you experimenting with like the remote viewing?
No. No, I don't even know where the idea came from now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, it's brilliant. It is brilliant.
Oh, no, that's not true. I do know where the idea came from. Remember how I told you I wanted to do paranormal PowerPoints?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't really call it that because I'm pretty sure PowerPoint is like a copywritten thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so that doesn't work. So what would I call it? And then the Mothman Minute came to me, and then I was like, but what if it was like a news show?
Yes, I love
and
it.
I had a little intro,
and
and
you could have we could have like breaking news
Yeah.
segments. That's
Yeah,
so cute.
just to talk about like cool paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to like I'm trying to keep it current, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be something weird that one of us comes across in our day to day.
Fucking love it.
And I thought that would be cute. So
I love it. I love it so much.
The Mothman minute.
Take it
You
away.
Saw it here first.
Take it away, Gizmo.
Roll the clip,
Roll the clip.
Gizmo. Gizmo's my little helper.
Oh my goodness, have you worn the antler or the antennas with Gizmo in the room?
No. No, because he's afraid of the most weird random things. Like today I set this up, and the microphones were like, you know how they sit when they're being stored.
Yeah.
So they were like that, and I was sitting here and I was working on stuff, and I had him out, and I was like, oh yeah, like come hang out, and he was getting really upset about the microphones, and he kept like flying all around the room and like yelling his little alarm call, and I was like, dude, it's fine. I just they sit right over there, and now they're here, but I don't know.
Alert!
It's weird. It's just the most random things. It's like, this is not how it's supposed to be. I don't like it. But
you have an autistic bird.
I think all my pets have some kind of like the dog definitely. The cat, probably he's just a derp, but it feels like all my pets are neurodivergent in some way.
I love it so much.
Okay, well, with the news out of the way, we're gonna talk about
We're gonna dig into
some cool traditions,
winter magic, winter traditions.
Okay,
we are back to speak about Pralnachta and what it means for winter. So I really love winter, and part of the reason why I wanted to create the Cauldrons of Seasonal Alchemy is because within this winter season, I named it the Cauldron of Iridescence.
Mm-hmm.
It starts December, would be winter, January, midwinter, February, high winter.
Okay.
So this winter solstice is a really like potent time to make magic and to set intentions for as the sun grows more powerful throughout the year. I love midwinter. Like I love between like December 21st, the winter solstice, and like the end of January. I love that time. Probably more than I love autumn. I've always been like being an October baby is a personality trait, you know? And it's true. Like I love being an autumn born person because it's a cardinal placement. It is an ushering in of the autumn season, but there's a lot of benefit to both seasons, obviously, but I didn't always feel this connection to winter.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I would crash energetically around and emotionally in the time between Christmas and going back to school, because there's this like high of, excitement and presence, and you can feel everybody's energy a lot during this time. And I think it's also because we are fighting against capitalism and our natural urge to rest and be inside during winter. So this can culminate in that crash. I would be immersed in my own world of reading and writing, but there was always like a heaviness too between the 25th and like when we went back to school. That kept on through, like, I used to hate Christmas Day because there's this flurry of energy in the morning
and then it's gone.
Yeah. And it wasn't until I sunk into my passion around folklore and land-based traditions and really honoring how like fucking scary and creepy and intense this time of year is.
Yeah.
Yule specifically. And then I came across the folklore and tradition of Rauhnakta by way of the wild hunt. So that's it's a Germanic but also a Nordic tale.
I have similar feelings around this time of year, especially with like the busyness of the season and like my own body's like natural resistance to that and always like fighting that, and the hyped up capitalism that seems to just be getting worse every year.
It's by design. We just talked about this like not too long ago. It is 100% by design.
100%. But as a kid, but that time between Christmas Day and like before, like just after New Year's, I loved that time. I I love that liminality of not knowing what day it was, and just everything is like weird and out of the norm. That was so fun for me. I loved it. But I never, like, as an adult, well, I mean, I think this started in like my teens. I really didn't like celebrating Christmas specifically. Just the way that most people do it, the 24th and the 25th, and kind of a lot of the tradition that kind of goes around that. I really started rejecting in my teens and onward. And then it wasn't until I started practicing paganism and witchcraft and stuff again, and like coming back to this aspect of my spirituality, and I started celebrating Yule, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do both things. So I'm just gonna not. And we don't actually, like, we do a gift. We still do gifts. Like I have a kid. I'm not gonna just like take that away from them. But I didn't want to do it on, like, symbolically for me. I was like, I don't want to do the 25th anymore, and there's nothing that says I have to. So I changed it, and so we do that like on the morning of the winter solstice instead. And then I spend the evening doing like magic and like winter solstice thing. So and then on the 24th, 25th, if I have a family function, then I would go to that. But
we're going to Nosferatu, so you do have a family function.
So this year we're actually doing something fun. On the 25th,
because we love movies,
and making our own traditions,
and I love. I'm so stoked to spend the day with you guys.
It's gonna be fun. So that's my thoughts on this time of year.
So Rauhnakta is translated roughly as rough nights or smoke nights. So one interpretation states that the word rauch refers to smoke or the act of burning incense, which makes use of the very liminal days between the winter solstice and the beginning of January. The nights from December 25th until January 6th mark the longest of the year, so that's why they're a bit rough, which in some belief leaves us open to otherworldly encounters. So that liminal darkness, ghosts and the ever loathsome demons would need to be warded against. So you'd need to have, your incense burning at all times.
Yeah.
So a specific blend of incense, depending on your region, was often wafted through the house at all hours of the day and night to ensure no living person was trifled with. Personally, I really love hanging out with spirits and ghosts. So I use the time to invite communication and let my psychic senses loosen up and explore.
Yeah.
Whatever wants to communicate respectfully. Obviously, there's always boundaries,
Yeah.
But that's a little, that's usually what they would have done in bygone times.
Yeah.
And it's said that sorry, did you want to?
No,
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like it's such a perfect thing to do during such a liminal time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explore your psychic senses.
Yeah. And like, when you think about it, when you look at a lot of the like Christmas based stories, even, or like,
like a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, and there's ghosts in it, and they're like,
yeah,
it's just like this time of year is just full of ghosts and
it is
and weird
like
creatures.
The Roadie House has their Victorian Christmas ghost stories, because that's what a lot of folks would do. They'd get scared because it's dark.
Yeah. I mean, it's starting to get dark here at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So.
I posted on Threads, looking out my window and being like, "Oh, look at that beautiful sunset." It's 11:45 a.m. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It is also said that during these times we reflect on our current situations, leaving the old behind and focusing on making the most of our future. These 12 nights are for introspection, preparing for the year to come, and shaping the future from our very marrow and will. So this is a modern, because of the Gregorian, like the new year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in olden times, regionally, they would have still been focusing on the future, just not the calendar date. They would have been, focusing on that year's harvest and that year's what they're expecting of the seasons, kind of thing. It wouldn't be necessarily like the ringing in the new year with the bringing in the it's not like that. It's very it just so happens that it coincides with the December 31st, January 1st.
Like, in my opinion, this is a way cooler way. Like, it's like, because a lot of people will do New Year's resolutions, right? And how often do you hear people who say, I've done New Year's resolutions, and then they don't stick? I don't know. I feel like the 13 wishes is just a way cooler way to do this.
Yeah, and it also brings a lot of like spirit into it, but we'll get into that part.
Okay.
It's smoky and quiet and calm in our house, and there's lots of reading, lots of spookiness, lots of hedge riding and spirit communing and counsel, and lots of writing and divination. Pre-writing the rough night's wishes. And after too, because each night gives you an opportunity to think about, because you don't know what wishes are going to be, what you're going to be responsible for until the very end. So depending on regional interpretation, it is noted that during these 12 days, each day represents a month in the calendar year. So in Germanic and Celtic practices, this would have looked very different because of the lunisolar calendar. For Nordic folks, this is when the wild hunt would beset the lands, an army of roving deities, a 9-legged horse ridden by Odin, and as many Krampus-like hairy creatures as the land is vast. But back to the divination and omens. So you can gauge the days to come depending on specific omens or divination and dream interpretation on that day. So on the 25th, say you see there's more crows in your tree than normal. Yeah. Then you would make note of that.
Okay.
Or an absence of like, oh, the crows have been here 3 days in a row and now there's no crows, even though I put out the peanuts and,
Yeah.
So those kinds of things would be considered an
made
omen.
note of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and made note of.
Okay.
And then depending on the day, so December 25th would be the January, like that would be the omen for January. So this
okay, I get it.
Yeah. So this is a time of purification, self-awareness, the influence of your will and spirit, and the experiences you have within these 12 days. So making note of what happens throughout that liminal time. Even making note of, like, on the 27th, I had the most delicious day of like a fire, and I fed my house spirits, and they communicated with me, and they wanted something, like they wanted, more honey instead of milk, or, something, even if it's just like I had the coziest day.
Yeah.
And then maybe that March is going to have like a lot of cozy moments for you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So on to the ritual.
I've got this one.
So I strip the paper, and that's my 13 wishes journal. That's from Mari, from the Gentle Tarot, Mari in the Sky. So I have selected paper that I can't remember where I got this paper, but I typically will put some paper aside from the year, like either from a package or from a piece of work that I really liked. And tearing the paper is a really nice way to put more, just saturate it in intention.
Yeah.
So once I feel the crispness of the air upon my cheeks, when I step outside is usually when I go to that piece of paper and I lay it out, dress it with herbs, powders, sometimes oils, and then I'll tear it up and create the strips. And then I will typically use the night of the winter solstice to like tear the paper and write my wishes.
Okay.
And like infuse them. Yeah. So I will put them over incense that's burning. I love a hot cauldron.
And so you prepare these strips, and then this is part of how you infuse them with kind of your intention to use them for for wishes.
To use them for wishes, yeah. So this December 13th and 14th was the Geminid meteor shower, and it was also the Friday the 13th, which is it feels really. I love Friday the 13th. So, and it's 13 wishes, so it just felt right. So I sat down and I just started thinking about my wishes, what areas I wanted to work on. I used the Magic of Eye Planner because there's a lot of really good sections for goals. Like there's spiritual, there's emotional, there's inspirational. I do have a lot of like health related ones. Like I want to get, on top of my perimenopausal hormonal symptoms and stuff. So there's there, and I don't typically have health related stuff. But this year I really want to focus on some of that stuff. So that was really interesting to see that page and actually feel called to write things down. So I just started, just jotting stuff down. Nothing is set yet. It's just a starting point. And then on the 21st is when I will create the actual verbiage and like the presentation of the wishes in written form.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like I like that kind of prep, because I've done this 2 years now, since you first shared it with me. And it's been the way that I did it was very haphazard. And like I noticed I couldn't find my journal from last year. I think it's still packed somewhere, but I found where I had recorded some of the stuff from the first year, which was 2022, and all I did was record what cards I pulled.
Interesting.
I didn't make note, like I didn't keep any of the wishes. I didn't any of that. And so when I look back on it, it's difficult to reflect because I'm like, I don't even know where I was at. So, I
think that's
this kind of preparation. Though. I'm going to be doing things a little differently this year is all I'm saying.
Even though I have a record of like every card that I pulled, I don't know where my last wish is.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, I still have the Johnny L. Tenney one though.
From the year before.
From the year before, yeah.
Okay, so once the paper is ready,
yes,
and you have prepared it the way that you like, you get to writing your first wishes
so I write
down.
my first wish, and then I always fold the paper towards me. I really liked this like off the cuff, like it just like popped into my head, and it's really funny too because after I had like recorded some of it, I realized that I hadn't recorded writing anything down. And that was just after I had been like, oh, I forgot to record like sideways.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So that was, this is a wish. So I think I might use similar verbiage because I love that wish so much. But once it's done, then you fold it towards you. I like that symbolism. I like layering my rituals and my magic and things like that. So and it's
not just writing something on a piece of paper and being like blah.
Yeah. One year I did a sigil for every wish, and then I burned the sigil on a bay leaf, and that was it. I didn't do any of this like paper.
Yeah.
So you could incorporate something like that too.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Yeah. So we're trying to draw down wish enhancing energy, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so the way that you do that is now, do you write them all out in a journal and then write them on the paper each, or
sometimes? No? Yeah, sometimes I do, and other times I don't. So usually it will be, I will have a general idea of what area I want a wish to be fulfilled, what wishes I want to be fulfilled, what general area. And then on the 21st is when I get very clear about, because it's the darkest night of the year. So I go head writing, and then I figure out what I really need for the next year. So I use the darkness to really sift through what needs to be wished upon.
Yeah.
Do I need to utilize a wish for this?
Yeah.
And then I will write the wish on the piece of paper. So I don't record the actual wish anywhere. I have just a general idea, and then it's kind of like a little bit of automatic writing. So I will write all the wishes out and then stick them in their vessel, and then shake it all up, and then just pick one starting the 25th.
Yeah. And so once you have all of that ready and you start going on the 25th, you pick one at random.
Yeah. So you select a wish and burn it, or you can bury it, or both. So like bury the ashes in the earth. That's also a really nice like transmutation. And you just let spirit and the universe do the rest.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I don't write the actual wishes down is because I don't like what I used to tell people in like new moon classes is, don't check on your intentions all the time. Like you don't uncover a seed.
I was just thinking that analogy. Yeah. Yeah, you plant a seed and you wait and you let it do its thing. You don't dig it up every day and be like, how's it going?
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't grow.
Yeah. But having a record of like the general area and the general energy that you're wishing for or wishing upon, you don't like be specific in your wishes, but you don't have to write the verbiage for the wish, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can have like some point form, like,
so
these are the kind of things I'm going for, but
so you can recognize when it's happened.
Yeah. Like, I think that's something that I'm going to do this year, just so I can reflect. You have a magic of eye, right? Yeah. I didn't get one last year.
Crack into it, and I forgot to bring mine. So yeah, I forgot to bring mine, but I was gonna show the segments. Yeah, because they're really, really good.
It is really helpful, and like they have those for like the whole kind of year, and I also like how each month has its own section, so you can like build upon that and be like, hey, if one of my main goals is to be driving, right? Well, this month I want to go out at least twice. Yeah. And you can kind of break things down.
There's like that weekly breakdown of like the steps. Yeah. I love it.
I do too. And because, so I had one the year before, but I do the neurodivergent thing with planners a lot, where I get a planner and it's great for 2 months and I'm writing in it all the time and things are going good, and then I abandon it. And for such a nice planner that is not cheap, I thought I'm not doing that. Like last year I was like, I'm not doing that again. And it's like, it's a waste. It's a waste of a beautiful planner. It's a waste of money. So I just got one of those like cheapy ones, the Llewellyn like pocket ones that are like, I don't know, $15.
I see you writing in it all the time.
Literally, I was flipping back through it and I only missed a few days of writing it, and I was like, fuck yeah. So when the Magic of Eye planners started to go on sale, I was like, see, if I can do it with a shitty one, I'm gonna treat myself to a good one again. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a planner girly now.
Caitlin got me onto the Magic of Eye.
Yeah? It's a really nice planner. Some of it goes over my head. I'm not I know the basics of astrology, but some of it it takes me a really long time to understand.
Astrology is very hard to understand sometimes, and even I find astrology a little hard, but it is a really, really good reference if you do ever have the instinct to go digging a little deeper into astrology. That's a good place to start.
It's even great. It like the way that it's broken down is great, even if you're not like an astrology whiz. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? The information that's in there is really useful.
I used it as a primer for my astrology courses.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I wanted to know how it affected my everyday.
Yeah. Interesting. So you burn your wishes.
We burn our wish on the 25th, and then I make note of dreams associated with that day, the energy I've felt, any divination of things that occurred, and I pull a card to represent the next month. So the 25th of December, I'll be pulling a card for the month of January, and then I'll reflect on what that card means. If I want to do more divination on it, maybe it's a harder card and I'm like, oh, I have some like apprehension about the January now, and like maybe I'll ask spirit for some clarity, like, hey, I really like, is it really going to be this fucking hard, or what can I do to make it easier, or make the most out of the situation, or the energy, the overall theme. Yeah. Petit Chapeau has some really lovely associations for the months. the theme for January is roots, origin, and grounding, and it is amazing. So ancestor veneration, contemplating your roots and how to hold grounding and centering more seriously within my practice, fits perfectly with January.
Yeah.
So I'll be definitely utilizing some of her suggestions for the months.
Yeah.
And it'll be in our show notes.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
that sounds cool. I
yeah.
want to check that out too.
Yeah. On the 6th, you'll be left with one wish that you are responsible for granting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though I can't remember my last year's wish that I'm responsible for, I am trying to give myself a little bit of grace for that, because it's been a whirlwind of a year, and
It has been.
my wishes for my birthday from last year came true, which was you and your family being settled.
That was one of my wishes too.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that
Here we are.
I can safely say that I'm assuming at least half of my wish I made come into fruition. So
yeah,
I really I love this ritual. I love the history and the regional traditions around it, and it makes my ancestors happy. So that's something that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the wish that was my responsibility from last year. I didn't get it.
What was it?
It was Patreon related.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And it didn't come to be. But I too am giving myself grace about it, because I think with some of the other things that were going on in my life, my energy needed to be there.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah.
Something's happening in my brain right now.
What?
You know when your brain, when your intuitive self and your intellectual self are like
yeah.
I don't know what it is yet.
Okay, well, so when it comes to you, tell me.
I will. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's good. It's gonna be good. Okay. So I have a little bit of randomness if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the 12 holy nights between Christmas and Epiphany.
Okay.
The word Epiphany also translates to theophany, and it comes from the Hellenistic Greek word translated as manifestation or to appear.
Okay.
So depending on the beliefs, Epiphany is either the baptism of the little babe Jesus or the first corporeal manifestation of baby J.
Okay.
As seen by the three kings or the Magi, or whichever Christian mythology you're into. So, and also, according to one 17th century tradition, it is inauspicious to remove Christmas decorations before Epiphany Eve, and those who do not remove them on that date have the opportunity to take them down on Candlemas, which is February. So you have to keep your decorations up. So if on January 6th you haven't taken your Christmas decorations down, you have to wait until February 2nd.
What? Wild. Okay. That's a weird superstition.
But do you know what's so funny is I literally, like, the day after New Year's, I'm like, we're fucking done. Like, everything needs to go away. I need to clean the house. Like, that purification energy is deep for me. But I have a feeling I decorated a little bit more because my kid's having a Christmas party, and I'm making garland because they love Christmas. So I'm gonna set it out a little bit. I'm gonna keep it out until January 6th. Yeah.
I like keeping my tree up. Not February, mind you. And I have a live tree too, so it would all just be dead. But I like keeping the tree up a little. I like a twinkly tree.
Yeah, it's the light. It really does make a difference in these dark nights to have it's almost
twinkly
like
lights.
It's supposed to be. candlelight and twinkle lights,
Yeah. And quiet and cozy and calm.
A creator, I cannot remember for the life of me their name now, but they are in the Southern Hemisphere. And they were talking about how hard it is as a spiritual person to be going through Christmas when it is summer there.
Oh.
And they've never felt the Christmas spirit around this time because it is so bright.
Because it's reversed.
It is exactly.
It's almost as if it should be, their Christmas should be in the middle of our summer.
I don't know about the indigenous folks of the Southern Hemisphere, but I assume that would be when their the rougher nights would be. The liminal space of quiet would be. Whereas now in their, like, they're at the peak of the sun, like it's
like Western traditions kind of permeate into everything.
Western capitalism.
Yeah,
because it goes back to what we were saying a couple weeks ago about how I feel like the Christmas is a capitalistic structure in itself for consumers, because naturally we would be in our houses and not venturing out and spending a lot of money and but adding like a ritual of gift giving for this time ensures that people are spending money going out of their homes.
Stupid.
Yeah. Just make wishes.
Rude.
Go ahead and make your wishes. Yeah. Well,
do you have like any specific to your family traditions that you do?
It's changed. Me and my mom used to go to the island every Christmas, and it's been it's been 12 years, and I still miss it every single Christmas. But it's now it's making orange stars. The first year that my Nana wasn't able to make them was really hard. And it wasn't until last year that I finally was able to make them. And this year
they're so good.
Thanks.
So good.
And you got the first batch, and the second batch is actually a little bit better because I used a little bit more orange. I made a fresh batch last night for my kids' party.
Yeah.
And I make all of the treats that my Nana would have made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
She used to make a wicked dark rum fruit cake, and my mom, I can remember her just like tearing into it as soon as we got to the island. And it was really good. It was a really good fruit cake.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even attempt to do that. But for us, it's a lot of games. We like to play games. We have either on the winter solstice or on Christmas Eve, depending on when we have all of our family together, we do jammies and books.
Cute.
So we spend the night, like that night, reading books and in our new jammies.
Yeah.
All fresh. Lots of hot chocolate.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your Yule traditions?
I don't know. As a kid, I told you this the other day, but my mom and I used to paint ornaments together, and I have some of those on my tree, and she has a bunch on hers. We used to do a gingerbread house every year.
Adorable.
I used to do it with Gage too, but as he's gotten older now, he's not as interested in it. It became a thing where I'm kind of doing everything. And so I was like, well, if you're not into it, it's fine. But one of our like newer ones is driving around at night and judging people's Christmas lights. and we can get pretty ruthless. And it's fun. You're going around, you get to see all the different lights, and then we judge people pretty harshly if they mix cool and warm white lights. That's a no. And we judge if you look like you have a really rich house and all you did was like put up one string of lights, or it's all one color, or it's something dumb. We judge you very harshly because you have the money to do cool stuff, and you should be
the exact same thought process as well.
You guys can come out with us one night, and we'll drive around and we'll look at I forget exactly where we were driving. We were driving home from your house, so we'll have to go that way, the way, and you go, instead of like, you go I can't even think of it now, but you turn one way when you leave your driveway, and you go up, and you take the way down, and it comes down like this. Like, I'll get Joe to explain it to you.
Where Cultus Lake is?
Yeah. There's a house there, and it's so cool. And then I think there's another one, and they've done like, it's like beach meets Christmas, and there's like a surfboard and stuff.
Have you never heard of the Surf and Santa?
No.
Oh my God. I think it was grade 3. I'm pretty sure it was my grade 3. We had a Surf and Santa pageant. And the year before, my mom went to Hawaii with one of her partners, and I didn't get to go.
Rude.
For one, but I got to go. I got to stay with my grandparents, so it was fine. But then the next year, that's when the Surf and Santa thing was on, and I'm like, can we just fucking have some snow? Like, who wants, like, so yeah, it was. And then like, that part in Christmas Vacation where they're singing Mela Kaliki Maka.
Oh yeah.
And there's like the girl, like the girl in like the Baywatch red swimsuit, and Clark is like fantasizing about her. It's like that. It gives me those vibes. Like, I don't care for this. Like, give me the fat Santa in a suit. I don't want this like ripped like board short Santa with sunglasses. Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to go out one night and get hot chocolates.
Yep.
And drive around and judge people's Christmas decorations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 100%. At like the height of liminality.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Maybe we'll be able to see cryptid, like,
oh my God,
Siren Head.
Okay, if you have been around the Frightfully Delightful universe for a while, last year I saw Siren Head in the wild. I have been thinking. There's a video on our It's on our Instagram.
It
right?
is, yeah.
I've been thinking about reaching out and seeing if someone in that area can drive by and see if it's out, because I still question my fucking reality, because literally we drove past it. I was like, this is wild. That's fucking Siren Head. I took a video, and then we went back the next day and it was gone. It like never fucking existed. And I'm talking, this thing was taller than the person's house it was beside.
There is documentation though. So,
there is. If you go back on our Instagram and look,
I'll share it to our stories.
Yeah. And it's fucking huge, and it had Santa hats on it and lights and stuff, and it was Siren Head.
It was perfectly in season.
And then it was gone the next day, and I don't know. I need to find out if it's there this year. I got it. Maybe I'll ask my brother.
You should, yeah.
And I'll just be like, hey, could you please drive down this road and tell me if there's a Siren Head?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, what the fuck? But
what's a Siren Head? You'll have to give him like a reference picture of what he's looking for.
Please look for this thing and tell me if it's there, because I mean,
it was such a cool thing to happen.
The person who created Siren Head is from that general area.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're more in like the city of Toronto.
I
but
did try to message them, but their DMs are not open to people that they don't follow.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
But I
just want to know.
I know. Like, are you related to these people?
Yeah.
like, well, maybe that's like a little too personal. But
yeah.
Even just to say, like, this is really fucking cool.
Is this a thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And can we also be a part of it? Or
did this actually happen, or was I hallucinating and somehow there's video of it?
Created
I don't
your
know.
own Mandela effect where you have a fucking documented picture.
I hallucinated so hard I created it in real life.
Like perfectly in season 2.
Yeah.
Like
so festive. Anyways, well, you made a beautiful, there's a little end to our Necta.
Yeah.
Because you had put this in your notes, and I really liked that.
May the rough nights be warmed by your wishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the rough nights round Necta ritual that's not in spoken haphazard form is on our website under the freebies, like our heathenmoon.ca website.
And that will be linked in the show notes of this. Mm-hmm. So if you want to do it, because this is going to go up in a couple of days from now of recording, it's going to go up on the 20th. And so you can quickly prepare and
or like change it
or
up
be
too.
Yeah. I think the first time I did it, I was like, I'm not starting it on the 25th. Fuck the 25th. I'm starting it on the winter solstice. And I just did it my own way.
Yeah.
So you can do it whatever you want to do, whatever you feel called to doing. Yeah.
And definitely check out some of the links for the research, because German Girl in America, really, really wonderful, and Petit Chapeau has a really great resources.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for listening / watching.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you just after the rough nights are finished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have a good holiday.
Season's greetings. Or whatever the opposite of greetings is.
Season's creeping.
Season's creepings, and happy Hexmas to you all.
Okay, bye.
I can't keep secrets.
Like, it's been hard.
Especially with presents or like things like that.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's like as soon as it's ready, it's like I want to give it to the person.
Ready. Why?
Before.
Why would a secret need to be ready?
Like if it's a gift.
Is it a gift?
Oh no. So what I did to so ridiculous. What I did to mitigate that feeling of like, you know, when you want to surprise someone with something and you're like, right? Because you just want to share it. Yeah. I told Addie. I showed Addie.
You're not serious.
And I was like, this is what I'm doing, but don't tell your mom yet.
Did she love having a secret?
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask her.
I don't know. You can ask her, but I showed her and she thought it was funny.
Okay,
so.
Literally, that kid can't keep a secret to save her life. So the fact that she's kept it for you,
she probably forgot.
Okay,
like I'm wondering if she just forgot.
That's true.
Yeah, because it was like it was when her and Bo were over.
Cute. Oh my
and we
gosh,
were baking.
That's so long
so Bo
ago.
Technically knows too.
He also would have forgotten.
But yeah, that's how I like mitigated that like buzzy feeling of wanting to tell you. So
that's a good ADHD hack.